Welcome to Career Moving Opportunities for College Students, where the journey from campus to career begins. Hosted by Donnie Glover of Be More News, each episode explores how you can develop essential skills in creativity, leadership, critical thinking, and a growth mindset, all designed to enhance your college experience and prepare you for success in the workforce. Get ready to grow, lead, and create your future.
I'd like to welcome you have with us Kelli Redmond Bagby. What is your title? What is the name of your company?
Yes, Donnie. Thank you for having me. I am Mother Nature. I'm the founder of Mother Nature, and we are a holistic wellness company. We provide wellness through the product of juices.
Mother. That's why I had to call you for creativity. Mother. That's how we talk.
Yes.
In Baltimore.
Yes.
Baltimore. You are professional, but you still embrace our community, our culture.
Absolutely. That was the point of spelling it specifically MOVA. Is to pay homage to how we pronounce mother in our community, not just in Baltimore, but across the land. People pronounce mother in so many different variations. So I wanted to play on the name, really tapping into Mother Nature, which provides us all the resources that we need for our health and our wellness, but also making sure that we pay homage to the culture. And sometimes when people look at the name, they say Mover Nature, but then I tell them to say it again and read it fully. And then they're like, oh, it's Mother Nature. I'm like, absolutely. So you feel the connection immediately. And that's what I wanted to accomplish once you saw this name, Mother Nature, and this brand.
Where did you get that creativity from? And also the license to be creative?
You mean in general or for this brand?
In general.
I think I've always been a creative. That's an interesting question, because I think when they think of creative, they normally think of like the arts. They think of,
that is art. That's art.
Well, yes, I'll say that it's a form of art. So this is a different form of art. And I think that we all possess a certain level of creativity within us. It's just a matter of how we express it. And we express it different ways. How I express my artistry is through my brand. It's through the naming, it's through the colors, it's through the recipes, it's through how I market, it's through how I show up. That's my artistry here. This is my stage. So I think it's been ingrained in me for my entire life. And coming up with this name, someone actually gave me the name Juice Fairy Godmother. When I was delivering juices through the pandemic, one of my customers, she was really, really sick. And she messaged me one day. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much. You came through like the Juice Fairy Godmother. And I was like, that's such a cute name. And then as I kept playing around with the name and started to add different components to it, I came up with Mother Nature as the complete name. I did the numerology on it. Yes, I'm into numerology, so I like to find the vibrations of numbers. The numerology came out well, and I said, this is going to be the name that sticks. And I want to spell it specifically mother, so that when I'm in any type of environment, we're going to always have to pay homage. So I could be in the White House, and you're going to pronounce this as Mother Nature.
So help me out. Where does numerology come into play?
So numerology is just another cultural aspect. Numerology, astrology, all those things. I'm definitely into that when it comes to business. So, looking at like what planets we're in, how to determine when I'll make certain moves, things like that. I use it as a reference point for myself. Eclipse season. People may not believe in astrology, but you can't deny that planets are actually in certain spaces, in the real world. So a lot of things get affected when planets are moving in different directions. So I like to base some things off of that. And then also when it comes down to numerology, numbers, when you look historically, they have a certain vibration, a certain energy attached to it. So when you break down the different numerologies, what certain numbers mean, it attaches a certain type of energy to that number. So yes.
What does the number 9 mean?
I forgot what 9 means, but I know what 5 means, and that's 9. 5 is my personal number. It's mean freedom. So with my name, with my birthday, it represents freedom. 8 represents success. 11 represents mentorship. That's the Oprah number, they call it. That's the healer, the teacher. So it's different numbers. 6 is healer. So it's they all have different vibrations.
Before Mother Nature, what else did you create?
So before Mother Nature, my background was in the spa industry. So I actually was a makeup artist. I worked for Chanel. I also worked for Red Door Spa Elizabeth Arden. I worked for Sephora. I worked for a lot of different healing spaces, but the way I was doing healing was through beauty. It was through relaxation. It was through essential oils. I actually graduated from the Aveda Institute of Aesthetics in Washington, D.C. in 2014. So I was able to incorporate my love for beauty with my love for healing and natural energy. I think this is probably due to my mother. She used to play like a lot of classical and healing music for me when I was younger, and I really gravitated towards that. And if you're someone that's familiar with the spa industry, whenever you're getting like a facial or a massage, you have like this really relaxing music in the background just to help you ground and center yourself. So to me, it was always more than just the beauty. It was always more than the relaxation. It was really about grounding and centering yourself. So I take that energy from my spa days and I bring that over into Mother Nature, because again, we are more than just juices. We are an entire wellness wheel. So we're tapping into so many different aspects of human nature and that wellness wheel. It's really a phenomenal growing brand.
How do you determine where you show up? I see you at major events. How do you do it?
Well, this is our 5th year, so we've been a little bit of everywhere. 2025, I've been very intentional about showing up in specific spaces just because we are at that certain level of growth and scaling, and just certain events. They are just not where we are growing towards. So I've done the festivals, I've done Artscape, I've done different community festivals as well. We've popped up at different universities. So Morgan State University, we did a wellness class there as well, McDaniel College. So we've been a few different spaces, but I think now it's about being more intentional with where we'll have the greatest impact and also where we'll make some good revenue too. So, just because we're in community work essentially doesn't mean that we have to be broke doing it. So it's about finding the best customer essentially. So sometimes that is a larger organization. Sometimes it's also looking at long-term impact. So it's not a one-off type of event. It's looking at like, how can I build a partnership with this organization for long-term events, for a contract, for things like that, because we're trying to create longevity. So that is my focus for 2025. It's about creating long-term partnerships, longevity. We just launched our functional mocktails with Red Emma's, and we're looking at a long-term partnership with them as well, potentially. So it's really about what's going to create the most impact, where we'll have long-term longevity, and how we can make some decent amount of money so we can continue to scale and grow to get this wellness into all spaces.
Are there places that you find are open to your creativity versus some that are not? Or are there places that draw you in, that you feel safe in, that you feel this would be a good look? And if so, what kind of places nurture your creativity?
I would definitely say right now our focus has been on corporate wellness. So we've definitely been pushing towards that direction. We've been looking into universities, being in that space, creating that accessibility for students as well, and different community events too. But again, making sure it's not a one-off situation. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't do, certain community events, because there's for sure certain communities that we do still participate with, knowing it's going to be a one-off, but not making that the whole thing. So I think places that I wouldn't say places that make us feel safe, because I am from Baltimore, East Baltimore to be specific. So honestly, for this brand, picturing where I'm coming from and what I am bringing, I could definitely maneuver in all types of environments. Now, when it comes to bringing in staff in different spaces as well, just being really mindful about who we have on board with the Mother Nature team and making sure that they are comfortable also, you know, you need to be comfortable going into Lexington Market, being outside, mingling with the Lexington Market crew, and being able to go down to Johns Hopkins and mingle with the HR corporation is there as well. So you need to be multifaceted. But I also think that is a Baltimore trait. Like, a lot of us have learned how to maneuver in so many different spaces because we've absolutely had to. We've grown up in one environment, but we also realize in order for us to grow and scale for whatever we're doing, we got to be able to maneuver and mix and mingle with a different group of people. So you learn how to play both sides essentially. So as far as us feeling safe in certain spaces, or maybe it's more of where do we feel our what we're offering will be most received, I feel like Mother Nature has been in so many different environments. We're received in most places, because one thing about it, when you put fruit and juice in front of people, everyone's looking like, what do you got going on? You know, we pop up on Greenmount Avenue, we have people coming up with a bottle of whiskey and a cigarette in their mouth, and they're asking us, what are y'all doing up here? And I'm asking them, we're selling juice. We're selling juice. So it's definitely, we could fit in multitude of places. So yeah.
In terms of creativity, any advice for parents in terms of nurturing their child's creativity?
I would say to listen to them. I think that if your child is really adamant about trying different things, I know for me as a kid, like, I wasn't so set on certain things. I was into a lot of different stuff. My main focus was probably sports, but there were other things I wanted to get into, like fashion, makeup, like so many different things and avenues I wanted to try, because my mind was just turning. I was interested in so many different things. So I think that when you have a young person that's finding interest in things, you know, I think it's good to be able to nurture it and just to actually pay attention to them and ask them, what do you want to do? Do you want to try this for a season? If it doesn't work out, it's okay. Let's try something else. Because what we find is that as adults, we find ourselves trying to reach back into our childhood and figure out those things that we missed out on. That's why you have like adults now taking like adult ballet. You have adults doing Volo, who's we just partnered with Volo as well. There are adult sports in Baltimore and across the country actually, but you know, doing adult sports because maybe they weren't able to do that when they were younger. So I think it's important to listen to young people. What do they want to do, and present different opportunities for them as well. We're figuring it out. Like, we have no idea what we're doing. You know, even, you know, almost being 35, I'm still figuring out certain things. But I can picture myself at 12, at 13, at 14, those like crucial years of a kid where it's kind of like you're either going to go one way or the other for the next 10 years. Those are prime years to really grab onto the youth and ask them, hey, if you could think of anything you want to do in the world, what would it be? And if it's something like, oh, I like to draw something, let's bring them to some art galleries. Let's start to invoke them. Let's start to inspire their minds even more. If it's music, let's take them over to like a recording studio, which they have a lot of them now here in Baltimore as well. So all these things, I think it's just, you got to listen and you got to really take them seriously. I think that's the biggest piece of advice. Take the youth seriously.
What or who nurtured your creativity the most?
That's a good question. I feel like I was surrounded by so many creatives and visionaries, and I think that watching them inspired me. Like, I had my mom, I had my sisters, watching my aunt as well, just a lot of older people that were around me. I was the baby of my siblings. So just being able to watch them, I think inspired me, watching them take on entrepreneurship. My sister was a graphic designer, Nakia Redmond, in graphic design. My other sister, she had her own business. My aunt, she has been in community work and nonprofit work for decades. My mom had her own store, restaurant. So my grandmother, real estate. So all of these like nurturing women, I should say, around me, they were shaping me before I actually really knew that's what was going on. And in adulthood, I can reflect back on certain parts of my life where I can see like, oh, this is the energy that I'm tapping into. Even though when I was young, I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. But as an adult, I can absolutely go back into those times and see like how I've been deeply inspired by the people that have been around me. So I've been blessed to have just that foresight and just people that I've been able to look at to say, hey, this is something I can pull from this to help and nurture my own journey.
What would you like to create?
I guess I would like to continue what I'm creating now with Mother Nature. I think the sky's the limit with this brand that I'm harnessing, definitely staying within wellness, but seeing like how far can I stretch this? Again, I emphasize the point that it's more than juice, but honestly, it has started with the juice. It started with the creation of recipes. It started with the branding of the bottle. It started with being able to pitch the bottle to the news station, and where it's not just, hey, I have a juice that I'm selling, but I'm also telling you all the whole story of how Mother Nature got started. So I think being able to branch out from literally just a bottle of juice, that is what inspires me to continue to create. And I think that that is most importantly what I want to continue to spread my wings with. We've just started our wellness classes with Baltimore City Recreation and Parks, where again, it's centering around juice, but we're talking about minority health. We're talking about colon cancer awareness. We're talking about gut health. Like all these things are branching from the juice bottle. And I'm continuing to be able to create from that, continuing to be able to bring in more people who also have this same passion and just desire to spread information, to create, and just continue to be a beacon within the community of wellness. So I think, to answer your question, that is what I would like to create, this entire, continue to create this entire wellness community.
What is your favorite fruit?
Ginger. Well, that's out of ginger vegetables, but it would definitely be out of a fruit and a vegetable. It's going to be ginger for me. And after ginger, it's gonna be a pineapple. But if I had to have a specific fruit or vegetable from the rest, it's gonna be ginger. Ginger is what takes me though.
So does ginger pineapple, is that your first flavored juice?
No, my actual first flavored was hibiscus tea. It wasn't even a juice. It was hibiscus tea because at that time I was not juicing just yet when I started Mother Nature. Before I started Mother Nature, this started because of my sister. She got colon cancer when she was 33 years old. So this was right before the pandemic started, about probably 6 months before the pandemic started. So along looking at ways to assist her in that journey, I realized at that time, I was like, well, we don't have any juice bars in East Baltimore. So I want to open up a juice bar. So I said, but before I open up a juice bar, I need to know how a juice bar runs. So I went and got a job at Pure Raw Juice, which is one of the best juice bars in Baltimore City and beyond. And I learned everything that I could learn there. A manager pulled me up and he asked me, he said, you work very hard at this juice bar. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, honestly, I want to open up my own juice bar and I wanted to see if I can handle the work. And he pulled me in. He could have kicked me out, but he pulled me in and he showed me the ropes of everything. So from there, fast forward to the pandemic, I lost that job. I lost my job at Johns Hopkins, and I wasn't quite comfortable yet with making juices, but I was showing online the process of what I was learning. But my first official drink that I put out was hibiscus tea. Then I put out sea moss because everyone was looking for sea moss during the pandemic. And then my final products was actually my juices. My juices dropped. That's when the name hit for Mother Nature. So it's been an ongoing process since then.
Journey.
It's been a journey, like from the ground up, from the social media up, before things were going viral. Like definitely we've put the work in to create this brand and create a trust between ourselves and the community.
I gotta ask you about colors.
Yes.
What colors, when one thinks of Mother Nature, what colors come to your mind, the creator?
Yes, so we are bright, flavorful, just like me and my personality. But we also have depth. So we have some jewel tones. We have greens for freshness, wellness. We have blues for education and teaching. We have the fuchsia pink for warmth, for love, for Mother Nature. We also have the brown for our roots, for our culture. So those are typically, when you see Mother Nature, you're going to see a combination of those colors. You'll see it on our banner. You'll see it on our website. And if you go to our Instagram at Mother Nature, you're going to see it's going to look bright colored, very inviting, very fun, very fresh. That's what I wanted it to convey, that we're fun, we're bright, but we're also giving you some real information, some real tips. So we're not just flying juices and fruit around. We're also giving you some real information to help you heal yourself, help you heal your generational line. We're talking in chronic health, preventative health, all of those things. At the base of it, we are an educational platform. So we want to make sure that message is conveyed, but we do it with style and we do it with finesse and flair.
So do you have a theme song?
Ooh, So my favorite artist is Jadakiss from The Lox. So for me personally, my theme song is always Can't Stop Me. We've gone through the ringer. I have gone through the ringer in these last 5 to 6 years, and I am still standing. I do not look like half the stuff that I have gone through, and I'm going to continue to grow and continue to get better. And honestly, like, I cannot be stopped. The only person that can actually stop me is myself. So that's my theme song for keeping it pushing through, because if one piece of advice I will give, you got to learn to push through. You can take your time to regroup, recalibrate, make sure you have community around you that will be able to lift you up in those times where you cannot get up, but you better make sure that you get back up.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Kelli.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks for listening to Career Moving Opportunities for College Students with your host, Donnie Glover. We hope today's episode helped spark new ideas and practical strategies for building your skill set and shaping your future. Be sure to join us next time as we continue the journey from college to career, one opportunity at a time.